We shift our focus towards what's happening in the Indo-Pacific. We're now learning that Taiwan's top China policymaker Chiu Chui-Cheng has stated that China is actively preparing for war to seize Taiwan. This statement was made during a high-profile address in Washington, D.C. Now, speaking at the Heritage Foundation, Chiu has stated that the Chinese Communist Party has never ruled out using force against Taiwan and has accused Beijing of intensifying military preparations, including recent maneuvers around the island. He has stated that if China were to take Taiwan by force, it would trigger a domino effect. Listen in.
If Taiwan were to be taken over by China by force, it will trigger a domino effect, undermine the regional balance of power, and direct threat the security and the prosperity of the United States.
Chiu has argued that China's push for unification is part of a broader strategy to drive out US influence and eventually replace America as the global leader. Now, his remarks have come as China's newest aircraft carrier, the Fujian, sailed through the Taiwan Strait, a move which is seen as expanding Beijing's power projection in the region. Now, China, meanwhile, also condemned the transit of US and British warships through the Taiwan Strait. The US and its allies insist that the strait is international waters, while Beijing claims it as part of its own territory. Chiu, meanwhile, has thanked Washington for its ongoing support, including military aid and strategic backing. Meanwhile, China's embassy in Washington has reiterated its commitment to peaceful reunification, but has warned that it would take all necessary measures to oppose Taiwan's independence and so-called foreign interference. Still with us on the broadcast is Mr. Ross Feingold, political analyst, joining us from Taipei. Thank you so much for waiting rather patiently. Interesting developments happening in the Taiwan Strait. We've recently seen a lot of incursions as well from Chinese aircrafts, from the PLA Navy. And in the midst of all of that, China is coming out and pointing fingers at the United States and the United Nations for their ships sailing through international waters. What do you make of China's rhetoric, and do you think China is preparing for war?
Certainly China is preparing for war. They say they want peaceful reunification, but at the same time, they have not renounced the use of force. So it's imperative on Taiwan, as well as the United States and its allies around the region, to prepare accordingly and invest in their own defense. So it's no surprise that China's using its Navy in ways that it hasn't done previously. They've been investing in their military, including their Navy, and they're going to make use of those assets. If their aircraft carrier is ready to sail, it's going to sail, and it's going to project power around Taiwan or further out into the Pacific Ocean. And again, it's imperative on other countries to respond accordingly.
All right, sir. Also, as far as Chinese buildup is concerned, we've seen them also doing also in fact showcasing aggression in similar fashion with other countries in Southeast Asia as well, whether it's the Philippines, whether it's Vietnam. So we all know what they're doing as far as Spratly Islands is concerned. There's a lot of military buildup on Mischief Reef as well, Fiery Cross Reef. We're seeing a lot of these airstrips come up. They're constructing artificial islands as well. There is in fact a UN clause ruling against China, but it does not seem to be adhering to it.
China has ignored that arbitration ruling from 2016. That's not going to change. And as you mentioned, China has built up and continues to build up its facilities on the islands that it does occupy in the South China Sea. So it goes back to the previous point that it's imperative on other countries in the region, as well as the United States, Australia, Japan, to take their own response. And that includes investing in their own militaries and sailing their ships in international waters, which they do, but arguably they should be doing more of that.
All right, so with that, I would like to thank you for taking our time speaking to us on NewsX World. Meanwhile, viewers,